this May will be our third year, the conclusion of our third year of doing this, and this has been really great. And we've sort of talked about signs that we're encouraging entrepreneurs. And we've had folks come who've been doing it a long time, just have a really cool story to tell. We've had folks come who only had a business plan and a dream, and now they actually have a bakery across the way. We've reached out to the people in the foreign land of Waycross who have come here. We've also had college students, a couple of college students come and talk about business and their dreams. And now we got a special day too. It was worth coming. And this is our first high school entrepreneur. So I'd like to introduce Lad Rector of IBHASI.
Hey everyone. So my name's Lad, and I am starting a food truck. And the concept started about October of, not last year? Yeah, last year. So I'm in drama, and we had a region competition. And I was joking around with my friend. I was like, wouldn't it be so cool if we had a food truck out here? And unbeknownst to me, he went home to his dad and said, Dad, we should get a food truck. And his dad went, okay. So it was kind of just a concept for a while. And back in February or March, he said, come in, bring your business plan, pitch an idea, and let's see if this is something that will be feasible and we want to do. And I was like, awesome. So I went in, and it started off as sliders. And we were just going to call it sliders and serve artisan sandwiches. And he was completely on board. Things were going great. We were going to get started. I was going to do most of the work over the summer so we could get up and running by fall 2018. It's not happening yet. So later on, my friend came to me because one of the things I love to do is travel. And I was focusing on international sliders, international sandwiches. How can we bring in other cultural elements into the food truck? And so my friend comes to me and he said, I was thinking, what if we called it something other than sliders, and that would give us more flexibility? And I'm like, great. I mean, we were both thinking this for a while. Sliders is kind of limiting. Something more generic would let us branch out and grow if we ever wanted to. So we started thinking, and we came up with IBHASI, which for those who know Zulu means bus, because our food truck is a bus. And it brings in the international element that I've always loved and wanted to work with. And it's a cool branding opportunity. And so my dad has my tablet. I didn't get a chance to print off stuff, but working on branding, the first image is the wrap that's going on the bus around it. Wow. And then if you scroll, that's our logo. My uncle did the graphic design, and I love it. I'm really impressed. But since then, we've taken off with the branding and really just taken it and run. How do we transform this brand into something tangible? How do we bring in the international elements? How do we continue to do this and grow? So where are we in the stage right now? We found 3 food trucks over the summer for possibilities. The first was in Kingsland, and we were ready to buy it, and the deal didn't go through. So we're like, great. So we found a second one in Austin, Texas. We waited a month for it. We were so excited. It was the perfect food bus. And then they didn't get it checked by a mechanic like they promised and asked us to buy. And we were like, we can't do that. So we got delayed then. And finally, we found this third food truck, awesome opportunity, and they stopped responding halfway through. I assume it got sold. So I was really frustrated at this point. Like, we've gone through 3 different food trucks. Every deal has fallen through. I was like, what do we do? I was like, why don't we just get a bus, get a contractor, and do the reno ourselves? Because every food truck we found so far, it's between $25,000 and $30,000, and we still have to put in a $10,000 to $15,000 renovation and new equipment. I was like, just get a bus and put in the equipment we need, and we'll come in way under budget. We came in under half of what we originally intended so far. So that's what we did. We found a bus in Missouri. It's a short little bus. It's really cute. It got shipped here back in August, and it is currently getting renovated down the street. So that's where we are with that. It's probably going to be about 2 more weeks of renovations before it's ready. And the biggest obstacle that we faced so far has been the licensing. As part of this opportunity, I've had the wonderful experience of meeting with several business owners and entrepreneurs in the county. One of my friend's moms manages Melon Mushroom. She's been absolutely fantastic. She's helped every step along the way. And then one of my other friend's dad helps a lot of entrepreneurs when they're getting up and running. We did a lot of break-even analysis, a lot of the economics and the cost potential behind the items back in the summer. And everyone has recommended you talk to the health department. You got to get on that. And so we did, but man, it really is crucial. We found like you have to talk to them because it has been a really interesting experience. Because when we started, we didn't realize you had to have a commissary. And so when I met with my friend's mom, she said, you have to have a commissary, which is a base of operation for your food truck. So you can't just have a food truck in Glenn County. Now this differs county by county in Georgia. You have to have a physical commercial kitchen that you operate out of. And I was like, cool. And we were under the impression we could just rent an existing restaurant's kitchen during their off hours, come in, for 2 hours every day. No, you can't. If you do that, it has to be an extension of the already existing restaurant. We're like, well, that's not what we're here about. We have this awesome brand, this awesome opportunity, this awesome menu. I don't want to work as an extension of a restaurant. That's not what this is about. So the biggest challenge has been finding this commissary, this base of operation. And we do have a property downtown that we're trying to renovate now to bring it up to code, to be it. And one of the things we're toying around with, and I would appreciate 2 problems actually, but one thing I would appreciate any input on is, since we have this physical kitchen and we have the food truck, is it worthwhile to try to open a front of house, or should we stick to the food truck for now and worry about that later? That's the first, and I'll go ahead and pose the second. If there's, anyone who's worked in the restaurant business, if you have any tips on the licensing, because that's still something that I'm trying to work, we're trying to worry about because we haven't submitted it. We've submitted it and it's gotten back. And if you just have any tips with how to deal with all the regulations, because there are hundreds and hundreds of pages of regulations. If you have any tips or ideas on that, I'd really appreciate it. But thank you.
All right, thank you, Frank. I failed to also introduce you as a hopeful entrepreneur. This is someone who is still dreaming and seeing, and everything's going to work out perfectly. So we're finding out this is not the case.
Both presenters today are just speaking to me. I appreciate it. First of all, thank you for bringing those 2 pieces of business downtown. The renovation of your vehicle and the commissary for your food truck. That's big for us. That's really big for us, so thank you for that. And have you met Kathy Stratton?
I have not.
Yes, you have. You had pizza with us on Saturday. We were all fired up pizza.
Oh my gosh, I did. I wanted to talk to you.
Okay, you need to spend the next week of your life attached to her. And exactly. We just did an event downtown called Porch Fest, and in that we had food trucks that came. And I can tell you by just mentioning this to the health department, the very first thing they say is if Kathy's vehicle is there, we don't even worry about it. So whatever she's doing it exactly right. And they love her, and she doesn't get any negative feedback about her food truck at all.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, you need to talk to her.
Thank you.
Start small.
And I think one of our first graduates with a business degree was Justin Henshaw, who did a business plan as part of his business degree and was the first food truck. It was out by Parker's and has experienced all of the challenges of trying to do a food truck.
I've been in hospitality off and on for about 30 years, so I guess I have a little bit of experience. I started out as a chef long before it was cool. And so I want to say master what you're trying to focus on first before you expand. There are very different fun new problems to a stationary restaurant in regards to management and customer service and branding and a whole other myriad of things, even down to parking, than you have in the food truck.
Right.
And so personally, I would suggest that you really own the food truck and get to know how that works really intimately well, so it becomes more rote before you begin to tackle an entirely different adventure, even though it seems close.
Right. Awesome, thank you.
You bet.
Another question, all right, good.
Just, hey, Matt, just a general tip, you probably already considered this, but one thing for food trucks, I know events, they always need food trucks, and often I think locally they struggle to find enough, like, the big comic convention on Jackal.
Right.
The Pinball Palace has parties occasionally, they might be similar to talk to. There's these events you can kind of get on contact with these marketing people. That's a great opportunity once we get up and running.
Awesome, thank you.
Hey,
Hey.
you had two things. One, I would actually kind of mirror what was just said about, whether you want to stick to the food truck or try to do both. I would definitely try to accomplish one before the other, especially when it comes to having a standing restaurant. You're going to have to, whatever hours you put on the door, you're going to have to honor them all the time, and you're going to have the staff, obviously, to do that.
Right.
A food truck, and I know a couple people that run food trucks, and that's one thing they like, is they really only have to depend on themselves, maybe one other person, to keep things moving. On the aspect of the health department, the problems that you're having, obviously, that's everybody that goes into food service has those problems.
Right.
And I've never done a food truck, so that has to be a whole myriad of problems. But is there anything specifically that they're giving you problems with? Is it the build out, what is going on with the building not being up to code, or is it something actually with the food truck and the way it's set up?
Well, the main thing was the commissary at first, because the only thing I think they specify for a food truck itself is prep sinks, but they don't specify the size, so we have small ones in the, but the main thing is the commissary and what equipment is required, what, like, is there a floor drain, an air gap, stuff like that,
Sure.
Necessary for the actual base of operation, and then how does that differ from a food truck?
Did you actually physically go down to the Department of Environmental Health? And
I haven't, but someone else has.
Okay. Because they'll give you a packet, and it usually the last time we started the business, which was about 6 years ago, we went through the process again, and this time actually was far easier than it used to be. They could actually give you a packet and it would outline everything that you would have to do. So I would highly suggest doing that and speaking directly to whatever health inspector is going to be doing you guys.
Right,
I've always found
we've
that.
emailed a few times, but yeah, no, a packet would be great. That's awesome. So.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. And if, obviously if you, need any help, I'm sure there's people I'd be willing to, at least take a look and see what's going on.
Awesome, thank you.
Another question? Okay, good.
I just think that you're pretty awesome.
Thank you.
And I think this experience is going to stay with you forever.
I hope
And you should
so.
be really proud of yourself that you've gotten this far, and it's probably going to come to fruition. I work with kids in Immokalee, Florida, that were in an after-school program. They developed a salsa and a spice, and now that salsa spice turned into 6 products that are now on Publix and Winn-Dixie shelves in the state of Florida. So it's funny how these things can turn into something so much bigger, and
Right.
so you should take that moment it's really awesome what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments? Well, Leah, this was just absolutely super. Thank you very, very much.
I appreciate
So, we know our first high school recipients of our corporate swag.
it. Thank you.
Yes, very good. So good. Congratulations. Thank you. The next time we meet will be in February. The first Wednesday in January is January 2nd. This also gives someone my age time to figure out how to make the listserv work correctly. So thank you very much.
All right.